give a special shout out to Cheryl and Chris from Sun Plus One, their YouTube channel. They are the ones that all the photo credit goes to them. They took their time to go out here and film and photo this location for us. Thanks, guys. So let's get on with our adventure here at the Whitefield House and Gray Cottage. On this site of the Whitfield Mansion and the Gray Cottage, this Moravian settlement, they do have a Pennsylvania historical marker for Nazareth. We've talked about Nazareth several times as being the barren sea of the rose. This was 5,000 acres that was given to William Penn's daughter, and made this community of Nazareth. But this was a Moravian settlement, as it explains here. Moravian settlers arrived here in 1740 from a failing colony in Georgia. Bishop August B. Spangenberg led an experiment in communal living called the Great Economy, 1745 to 1765. It was designed to support Christian missionaries to the Indians. Also behind this was, of course, Count Zinzendorf. We joke about in a number of videos. Count Zinzendorf is everywhere, and this is another example. He was behind this mission to the Native Americans in this area of Allentown, Bethlehem, and Nazareth, or what would become those three cities. I believe we talked about as well, the Moravians seem to be able to get along with the Native Americans a lot better. I think they made some good choices with, they would be party to Conrad Weiser, who was very trusted by the Native Americans. So that sort of extended to them as well. They seem to have less issues, if you will. And I guess this is the way they reached out to them as well, in kindness and compassion, and sort of accepted them as who they were. So that made a big difference in what happened during that period of time. So the Whitfield House began construction by the Moravians in 1740. This was built by Moravian settlers who had moved north from Georgia from a failed sort of an experiment, a mission down there. And they were actually hired by a George Whitfield, which we'll talk about him in a second. This is part of what they call the Ephrata Tract here in Nazareth, Northampton County in Pennsylvania. And both structures, this and Gray Cottage, were added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1980. So let's talk about the place. This was actually, it's a stone building measuring about 56 feet long and 35 feet wide. It's a pretty unique and cool structure here as you look at it here. It was named for a George Whitfield, or Whitefield, who in 1714 was born, 1770 died, and he had hired these Moravians to build the house as a school for orphan slaves. Only a foundation was built, however, and after theological disputes between Whitefield and the Moravians, it caused the group to purchase the town of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It was here that they established the Moravian community in Bethlehem. When Whitefield went bankrupt, the Moravians purchased 5,000 acres of land from him, which would later become the town of Nazareth. They completed this Whitefield house in 1743, and they had finished it just in time to be used as a home for 32 couples coming over from England. And this house has been in Moravian hands for years and is operated as a place of worship, boarding school, a place for mission work, a nursery, the Moravian Theological Seminary, and apartments for furloughed missionaries. Currently, it houses the Moravian Historical Society, and they use this building as its museum, administrative offices, and gift shop. So really, a ton of history here. A really neat place to visit. We'll talk about Gray Cottage here in a second, but these buildings have so much history. I mean, it's 1740 they started, so there's another one of these structures coming up on 300 years, and it really has been taken care of beautifully. Cool place to visit. Nazareth has a lot of really neat stuff. Gray Cottage. This is actually the oldest Moravian structure in North America still standing. This was built in 1740. Once again, these Moravian missionaries, settlers, had been brought in by George Whitefield. He wound out hiring them to build this large structure, which would become the Whitfield House or mansion. That was going to be originally a school for orphaned slaves. Now, they built this Gray Cottage specifically to be sort of their housing for overwinter. It's a 1.5-story log building. It has a wood shake covered gable roof, and they say its name probably comes from its age gray coloring. It was restored in 1971 to be used as a private residence. This is also, like I had said, with the Whitfield House, is on the National Registry of Historic Places in 1980. So this building has been used as a boys and girls school, a choir house for widows, and a nursery. And the Moravian Historical Society owns and maintains the building and rents it out to tenants. And
as always, I hope you really enjoyed this newest
really
adventure visiting the Whitefield House and Gray Cottage. And as always,
it's a really neat place.
We'll see
Once
you
again,
all
this would be a great place to
about
visit. It's a great destination, hometown destination, and a place to check out. Here's some more hometown history.